Remember, if you're a part of the YouTube family, to guard your privacy. You don't want to dox yourself, if you know what I'm saying, in the well-known vernacular. That's dox with two X's. you're not you're not triple X, you're double X. Temperatures high, don't get too high, baby. Yeah, how do I keep getting away with it? You do until you don't, I suppose. And what I'm getting away with is having it's a nationally brewed. It's from Canada, but it's from the other side of the country from me, and it's there's no beer I'd rather drink, like, really realistic, like, apart from pricey imports like from Czechoslovakia, places in Eastern Europe make nice beer. Germany, Western Europe, France makes nice beers. But this is modeled after what Belgians drink, I guess. And I'll tell you what, I like can't seem to get enough. And today, anything is on the menu. I'm thinking, we grew a bunch of potatoes last year, and just backyard garden. Like, when I say bunch, like maybe several bunches, right? Now these things are growing eyes like you wouldn't believe, right? Sticking straight up from the paper bag, just like fully erect. Like, we want to grow more, I'm thinking, man, maybe I can sell a couple of bags to someone with a bit more scope in terms of growing fertile soil. Like, they can do a whole field. Like, I got enough for a field of spuds. And yeah. Who doesn't like a potato? Like, one of the most versatile um, vegetables. Abundant, inexpensive. It just tastes so good. You get a nice potato. Oh wow. Oh wow. That's what I'd say, man. Oh wow. So good. Like a mashed potato. Yeah, I can mash potato. Not only can I mash potato, I can do the twist. mm, mm. It's like Russians eat lots of potatoes. You think it's an Irish thing, but Russians inadvertently eat a lot of potatoes. This beer, I think, is made from probably from barley. I think if I were to look at the ingredients, contains barley. Yeah, I say en français contient ogre. Ogre. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. It's a perfect temperature to be served. It says servir à 12 de 40 Celsius, or 54 à 54 de, hyphen. How do you say hyphen in all français? Quatre, or no, not quatre. Um, cinq quatre de cinq sept. Um, Fahrenheit. All Fahrenheit. I guess you say Fahrenheit, being it's a name. Say it the same in English or German or French. I'm kind of learning stuff here. I'll get the mic out of the way. See my nice bushy beard. Yeah, I'm so cute. She's watching the detectives. Oh, he's so cute. I'm thinking I'm hearing that on my Duran Duran thank you CD. and I'm thinking, is that a Clash song? Because the way they do the treatment of the breakdown and the reggae style, and that's where the ska genre enters the picture. I was like, man, show me a ska band that doesn't listen to the Clash, right? Yeah, yeah. I think last night I was probably droning on about like how much I love the Far Side Institute, and whether you believe in the science, the alleged science behind controlled remote viewing. And I'm not knocking it because I don't know. And I've had, who among us hasn't had some kind of paranormal, something you can't fully explain, paranormal experience. But the all that aside, just check that out of the water. The presenters themselves are artistic and I find, maybe I'm weird, but soothsayers. Even that Dr. Courtney Brown. I'll tell you straight up. We're both on YouTube. I'll say sometimes that I'm a little. I love you, man, but like uh, you could say right back at you. Maybe I'm annoying to some people. What can I do? I can't apologize. I don't even know you, right? But I, yeah, I listen sometimes. Like, no, you know what I think is like constructive mode. Like maybe I should be, editing the monologues, like the chief editor in chief, right? Like it'd be like if I got a cabinet position, you're minister of transport because once upon a time you're a professional driver before you got into the red carpet zone. Mm. And I once had a dream. I'll say, yeah, again, like guarding my own privacy. Like this is, I think I'm cryptic enough. I hope I didn't ever give away details, or I would never want any outside. I won't go into that. Yeah, the dream. Let's all be as vague as possible. Uh, is so as to not dox with a double X myself. This dream. You go to sleep at night and you dream. I think most of us do. Some of us choose to remember. Some of us choose to forget. Wasn't there an Eagles song about that? Some choose to. Well, anyway, this always kind of stood out in my mind because um, I'm someone I've never. Ooh, gotta be careful about my personal background, I suppose. Um, I'll just put it bluntly: is a high-ranking military member um, told, like, he essentially ordered me to become minister of transport within a government, and I'm like, someone, I mean, like of course, like in the sleeping state, everything makes sense. Oh yeah, yeah, this is my life. You think to yourself, and then you wake up, and oh yeah, a weird dream. I want to give a shout out anyone who happens to be tuned in right now. I don't see anything in the chat comments. Don't know, for all I know, I'm just shouting into the abyss, the abyss, the abyss, the abyss, the abyss. Mm. She's watching the detectives. Oh, he's so cute. She's watching the detectives. Oh, as they shoot. Hoot. Mm. tell you what, oh yeah, I was pointing at stuff on the screen. Yeah, that color, it's just so standy outy. Like for the rest of it, like the red book is high contrast. Got the dog is like shadow being, and slash X slash on 4chan, right? Save it for the paranormal discussion group. Once upon a time. On the, I feel surface topography. It's a topography with the surface. Oh yeah, thank God I have these gold. If you're gonna drink beer all the time, like you gotta have some peanuts or pistachios or little crackers or cheesies or whatever the fuck. Like just what are they dubbed? Finger food. Open a bag, start chowing down. Potato chips, whatever. Gotta get your salt. Ooh, man, I'm being rude. I'm not. This is unintentional ASMR shit. Oh, guarantee you I'm not. I'm just have a bite to eat. No, I'm going to the kitchen. You're gonna cook something, or for that matter, like the grocery store. You don't. Someone wise once said, "Take this. You can fact check it if you want." Someone wise once said, like, when you're going grocery shopping and you're on a budget, don't go when you're hungry. I'm like, best to do, like, get some quick takeout. Fast food is a nice treat, right? Get some A&W, some McDonald's. A lot of people like McDonald's. Let's get something is going to be satisfying and quick and not too expensive, and then have a smoke or after. If you're a smoker or you're a vape, do your vape, relax, and then go into the grocery store like with a good mind and a full stomach. So they'll get you on like, oh yeah, save $13 if you buy 3 of these things. Like, they're trying to move merchandise. But you look at that, I was like, holy shit, and it's a good deal. If you want to commit to eating crap. It's like me when I buy weed, I never get like a whole ounce or anything. I'll like pick a name. You got the spectrum is as broad as the horizon, right? It's called D Bubba. And they say it's an indica, and I knowing what little I know about the agriculture, is that indica. It's like it's sort of chunkier and a little spicier, like more crumbly. And the sativas, like, as opposed to the sativa's stringiness. And correct me if anyone hears this wants to, leave a comment and tell me, no, you got it backwards, bro. But I think I'm good. Like I'll pull out a nugget here, show you. I'll bring it up to the camera lens. I know it's not low. Well, no, this is a HD, I think. But it's going through a not so HD processor, so it's like an analog output. I don't know how your video screen interprets mine. what I'm seeing, well, I know that I've got a good static connection. And I know through redundancy and being like a heavy duty computer programmer all these years is that I've got unless I'm somehow like compromised by like spooks or something on my computer, and I'm just getting a feedback loop and nobody sees that I'm the only one who ever views this video. The only way for me to remedy that paranoia is for me to go outside on someone else's internet connection and then call it up externally. Let's say, yeah, that's me. That's my channel. I've done it's everything's working as I think it is. I'm not going crazy. I'm not being gaslit. I'm not going crazy. Man, a lot of crazy. Throughout life, I think like who hasn't met someone like totally nuts, or like temporarily nuts, right? Like he's like see someone and there's a glimmer of like whatever, you know. What do we call it? The spark of copium. I just said it. Copium. As opposed to hopium. Yeah, hopium, that's what the media bargains, and like we need as many eyes on the screen as we can get so we get advertising dollars. Wow, what a cool plan, man. That'd be fun. So like if the, if the mainstream media was just like some dude some poor fucker on the ground with a camera rig, live streaming, broadcasting, or maybe he's got a satellite feed. Today you could do all kinds of fun stuff with weather balloons, but so you got this poor youngster, like on the streets of Philadelphia today, and I saw a couple of someone was thoughtful enough or just whatever put a camera on the driving around the like let's say the worst part of town, you know. But it was just like the worst part of town. You might expect to see, a couple of hobos on the corner. They're maybe a little drunk or whatever. Where you got, whatever. But no, this is like just rows and rows of. When I see people like, uh, I won't go into it, but it's just like, okay, something's not quite right in what's that metaphor? In Kansas, Dorothy. Where's the wizard? Where is the behind the curtain? Where's the curtain? Oh, I forgot. Lewis Carroll. Is that's his real name? Huh? Yeah, he wrote. Like numbers, that fella. I think, if I'm not mistaken, and I'm no scholar, so don't quote me on that. Lewis, no, it's like my essay on individualism, whatever the fuck you want to make up for your happy professor. Professor. No, it's professor. Professor, man. I'm a MC professor with below 85 IQ MC. Feels pretty good to be low IQ. I took a test. I got like 59. And like people are like, oh, look at that dummy. I'm like, just keep your slings in your pockets and your arrows in your sheath there, fella. play video games. Like I like how they depict powering up. It's like, like I can do like. I just ate a mushroom. Look at me. Boom. Yeah. You're like increase in mass by like 175% increase in mass. And that's for like if you want to convert percentages, it's 1.75 times whatever your mass was. I know how to calculate. And no, my mental arithmetic, like I was like just numbers whiz, especially when I played darts, and it's like maybe I didn't come by naturally, or like just numerologically, I had to do this process in my mind. But eventually I had my process going, and I could like 29 minus 16 is 3, right? Is that right? Or 4,762 minus 1 is 4,761, right? Is that right? You gotta bing bang bong. Like imagine having a cash register with no like register, like it's just a cash box. You gotta like someone gives like someone gives you $10.01, and the admission is 9. Oh, that's a head scratcher. Give me a $2 bill. There you go, sir, and a ticket. Here, enjoy the show. So it's Friday afternoon. Everyone I know is busy doing something. No one will talk to me. That's hence why I'm like delivering this broadcast. And don't think that I don't appreciate audience if you happen to go watch. And I don't doubt that someone out there is watching. That's kind of my impetus last night when I want to talk to people, and if no one else is around, I will indeed talk to myself, and you call that like the inner monologue, supposedly, like according to some like modern day psychiatrist, is there's the concept that comes from paper and pencil games called the non-player character. I'm sure you've heard of it, NPC. And people have begged to differ about what that might or might not mean. How do you define the non-player character? Like, do non-player characters walk amongst us? I don't like the concept. Like, to me, everyone's a player, right? I'm a player. You're a player. We're all playing, right? God's watching us play. How about that axiom? As simple as, what are you gonna choose to do? And yeah, and then you think, who amongst us hasn't veered from the course of good behavior? Like, I'm gonna be bad. I'm possessed with the devil, like to some harmless end, hopefully, right? But if yeah, it goes too far, it gets like these are things you want to think about. The unthinkable. That's why we have like Latin. It's like it's either yes this way or it's the opposite. So you put a little, thinkable, unthinkable. What's it? And if you don't speak the language, like if you're not native English, but I would wonder, like a foreign person, like if you say unthinkable and then they hear thinkable, they don't know the prefix. You know? And Jordan Peterson, fellow Canadian, is someone that I was recommended to, like someone I think maybe heard them, like the first like clean your room thing. And I was like, gee, I don't want to listen to someone who's going to tell me to clean my room because it sounds like my parents, the mom dad unit, clean, it's looking around. I need to pay someone to clean my room. I can't. I don't think I can just with everything going on in the world. Right now I'm thinking, okay, what's happening on the other side of the seaboard, or what's with the latest in the province. Like more, not thinking about my own. It's not a matter of urgent. There's not black mold growing in the corners. I don't think. So you double no. Uh, Messy, yeah, yeah. 10 out of 10. Dirty, let's say could be dirty. How dirty is it on a 10 scale? I'm gonna say 7. 7 is judicious estimation there. Estimating. That's something a lot of people don't know about me is I make a fair bit of coin, at least money to tuck into my jean trousers, doing like appraisals and estimating value and stuff like that. Like I can kind of wrap my head around like the what ifs and what were and what might be. So like valuating things is never easy. It's you don't want to be wrong. So if you don't know, you just kind of I don't want to touch this one. It's like that pawn shop show on the cable vision. And it's like you call up. Oh, I gotta go. Oh, being summoned. I'll be right back. Yeah. When's the last time I was in the garage? Okay. 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 Maybe I did just creature habit, right? I'll check it. Yeah, you bet. Yeah. No problem. Yeah, okay. Mission accomplished. Just we'll just report back and change the how you sometimes you're browsing on the web and you click a toggle button. That's what I had to toggle on. how to make me go up like a puppet on a string, huh? It's all right. You know, it's good to. Oh, oh, you got. Oh, I got a little. Oh, gee. What's that? Here's another one. Little treats for the dog. So, okay, Scoot, get out of my life. Just kidding. Mm. What I did wish is like if I had. Oh man, you know I spend too much money on. If I didn't spend money on this, I'd have like a editing suite, like a AV studio, and I could like you say, okay, I'm gonna take a break, and here's my commercial sponsors, and like, bam, run some ads, like fun, good ads, not not those ones that are like, let me tell you about how easy it is to become a millionaire. Those things annoy me. Is my beard growing like the way my face is gonna eventually look? I'm gonna get jowls. I'm gonna jowl out, man. Max Jowl. They call me. Yeah, that's my stage or my porn name, eh? Max Jowl. Is that you can see by my bed, like it's like raw mattress. I can't even be bothered to put bed sheets on. That's how. Uh, I know I could do it, but I'm like, does it really fucking matter? To some degree, yeah, I get it, but like, man, until I'm making enough money to be able to afford a housekeeper or a wife, right? I didn't mean to conflate the two or contrast them. Uh, Either way, like I just like I hate to think of myself as I'm not a dirty swine, but I'm not a housekeeper. Like I can't, like, I'd rather sit here, drink beer, talk to you than I would like, oh no, I'm gonna get in the laundry room. Oh boy, what a fun day. Putting things on the plate. But let me bring that melon closer. I want to scrutinize this melon. I know a thing or two about team sports, and this is smaller than a volleyball. So that gives you an idea. Wait, this is like, what do they call it? God damn, if I need to get glasses, I'm gonna just scream. The winter ham melon. It's got a UPC code. You can see universal processing whatever code. It's labeled 3623 winter ham. And I bought it. There's the overarching sun god soul. I don't know if you can see that like, symbol there. Yeah, I'm on autofocus, so it's grainy. I didn't notice that when I bought it. It's like the on the crown, a soul. Okay, and instructs you to keep it cool. And this is the coldest room in the house because I've got the vampiric background, and I don't know. I don't understand warm-blooded creatures. I just doubted myself. Just watch this. See all those scales? right, time for one more of these. I'm gonna take a quick smoke break, and like I say, like anyone listening, you want to do like a collaborative thing, do a show, a nice show. When I say nice, yeah, uh, we'll call it. Yeah, man, no shortage of what we could name it. Like I'd say, like double X to the nine, double X to the nine. It's like, whoa, I was curious, right? What does that mean? Double X can be 20 to 9, like a time, 20 to 9. It's like, and we'll attract like people who are into like my way of thinking, cryptographically thinking. The guy like, oh, show me the cryptogram, and it's like, you know, 40 seconds later, I'm handing it back, all solved. Bing bang bong. The bing bang bong, double X to the nine. So XX to nine. So that's 20 to 9. What does that represent? What is that like in historically speaking? 20 to 9. Is there ever a recorded hour in the history books where something profound happened at that time? And then if it's like 26 to 9, then maybe, well, let's call it, XXVI to the 9. Gonna take a short break. You can. I wish that. Yeah, if my dog wasn't camera shy, he should probably come up here and like. And then you can like, if I could have two-way thing, like call her, talk to my dog. It's like, hey, doggy, where's your cookie stash? And the dog's like, wouldn't that be? Okay, I swear to God, I've got a phone call coming in. Like someone's like accusing me of being like Gavin McInnes in disguise. I'm not Gavin McInnes in disguise. I am who I am. And according to the guidelines, privacy policy, I can see where my host provider, uh, to whom I can say, hey, I can do this, right? Like they're not stopping me. Maybe it's executive out there as a liking to what I'm talking about and stuff, and I try and keep it fairly light. I don't get too. I don't think I'm capable. I don't think I'm no Ben Shapiro. You know what I mean? I won't go on. Uh, I got a little dog who's antsy, and I think, do you want to go outside? Do you outside? You know, she'll nah, she's bluffing. Yeah, man, oh man, it's not easy looking after a dog. I can't imagine being a parent. And if anyone listening wants to discuss, well, what am I going to be? Be like, I'm outraged, but I'm at the same time envious that you have kids because I don't. You know, I'm like Angela Merkel. I don't think she has kids. You know? Like, whoa, that's weird because all the grown-ups that I know have kids. You know, the like my own parents, and then all the the friends that I met, of course, they have parents, and yeah, I think it's gee, give me a forced vasectomy, I guess, right? You know, like I'm still holding out hope, but what the hell, is there? I should see a specialist before I commit to becoming a David Letterman type dad. Ah, gonna grab a beer. I'll be right back. So I don't know if I mentioned this in the initial opening earlier today. Is mangoes, and I was calling up my friends like, "What? Have you worked with a mango before? Like, how do you know mango?" Because I bought a mango. The first time in my life I bought a mango, I think. And then I asked my dad, and he said, "Well, I've only ever had them served to me, so he doesn't know how to work with mangoes. I don't know." And I call up a buddy, and it's who's worked with or is more experienced with mangoes, right? And he said, "Yeah, wait till they soften up a little." I thought, yeah. So that's when I'm gonna make the smoothie with the mango in it. And that could be a gangster nickname, eh? Smoothie with a mango. Because I've heard of like smoothie with a bow tie. I don't know if that was stolen from a comic book or whatever the hell, or if it was just original. What? Smoothie. Hey, yeah, call up. Hey, dice, uh, dice on the rice. You're calling your Asian friend dice on the rice. Uh, Call up. Let's see if Smoothie with a bow tie can't hook us up with some XYZ, man. It's like, and then dice on the rice is like, oh, all right, I'll tie. And then, Smoothie with a brr, brr, hello, that's smoothie with bow tie. Uh, uh, Big Mac want know if you got this that. Like Smoothie the bow tie is like, yeah, I was hoping you call me. I want to hang out with you for a long time. Oh, cool. And then they go down to the billiard hall, and like I feel like Cupid. I hooked them up. Oh boy, yeah, gangster life, man. The hood. I shouldn't laugh. Yeah, I'm just laughing at my own, level of sarcasm here. Mm. But I mean, a hood is a hood, and there's better and worse. And tell you what, it's something I saw postulated on uh, on a well-known anonymous website that is political by definition, and there is I'm thinking about, man, the ideal, like North America. Hey, you're 18, you're out of here. Get out, get out of my house, get your own house. And you're like, fuck, yeah, man, everything's so expensive. If you're in that predicament, your parents are kicking you out. Hopefully, you made some good friends prior to that happening, so you can. But even if you haven't, I suppose you look at a higher value. Like let's say it's like 8 grand a month, but it's like 3 stories, attic, 8 bedrooms. 85. They want 8,500. So you call the number and you say, hey, I don't have 8,500, but a month personally. But could we get like a couple other partners on the lease? We'll all sign. We'll make sure. And then you sort of sublet. You do the subletting thing. I think is what they call it. And so you and your three partners, you put down $2,195 in bite the gold medal, and the landlord says, "Hey, shake hands, and here's your lease." Well, we'll check over the lease too. Like you don't want any kind of weird, like you're gonna get like dinged if you have a backyard party, because if you're gonna do this, like, and you're young, you're gonna party, right? To within reason, hopefully, right? And you get it at like a fairly established neighborhood, like you could say, like in a hip young city. We'll say in the outskirts of Medicine Hat. yeah, yeah. I live on the outskirts of Medicine Hat in this really ritzy property on an acreage with 9 other people. You gotta meet them. But realistically, yeah, like you got, someone's a student, someone's a tradesman, someone's you got a diverse kind of household going on, and you all contribute to the 8,500 a month, which may or may not include like all the utility. Like it's even better if I was a landlord, I'd be like, okay, I just factor in that I do my own calculations. I get out the proverbial crystal ball. I'd be like, oh, okay, utilities over the course of the next 15 years. What are they going to be? And I just pull like a rabbit out of the hat. I pull out a number. I say, okay, it's going to be year over year, like 0.61 percentage increase. So I'm going to keep the utilities in my name. I own the property. And then and then factor it into the rent, because like a lot of good people out there, like first time renters and stuff, they don't have a established track record. Um, and I'll tell you what, it's a fool's quest to become a landlord, I would think. So just judging by what I've seen, it's not as capitalistic as it might seem. Unless you're like a mega slumlord end boss. It's like in the video game, eh? It's like make a video game about like paying rent, kind of like as a backdrop. It's like the rent bills are flying in, and you're like, peer, 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 peer. uh, Good vibes, man. Good vibes. That's what a coffee cup says here. Good vibes. I see that. Good. This sort of this sort of coffee cup I wouldn't want to be caught dead drinking from, right? Just, it was not my go-to cup. But, well, I go for a clean cup, right? And so, it's plain Jane. Like this sort of represents my, stormtrooper kind of attitude. But yeah, whatever. Crystal glass. I'll just pour this beer in there. better out of glass than a bottle. And you can see, look at it. Just this is not a. It's not a Bud Light, you know. Oh, yeah. And I'm not a pub. You know, if you don't drink beer, or you can't drink liquor because of religious convention, uh, soda pop, anything carbonated, like wow, it just works wonders for the entire digestive system. You know, bubblies, whether it's alcoholic or not. Cheers. Yeah, I think I'm gonna be here all week. See my dog. What's she doing? Watch if I call her name. Do a little scientific experiment here. Mila. Oh, like a German Shepherd. Stay. Stay there. Go to sleep. 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 Go back to sleep. It's okay. Shh. Go to sleep, Mila. Go to sleep. See that one eyeball on me. Now, what's my 5-year plan? That's something you ever go to a job and it's always pretty absurd to me, eh? Like, but I always creative thinker, me, you know. Simple. What's your 5-year plan? Like, as though the HR stooge really gives a fuck about some random stranger applying for a job in a company that hate. And then but this is my chance to get the wedge in there. It's like, I've greatly admired this company for a number of years. Yeah, I'll just make up some shit, and then I say 5 years from now, I'd like to see myself sitting where you are. So now you're flattering them because it's like, man, maybe good because they've been there 5 years, right? Now they're in the director seat, and they're making a decent living. Boom, bing bang bong, you got it. And then you quit after 3 months because it's like the pay isn't good enough. But the point is getting the contract. Mm. Or should it be? I mean, I hate to, you know, I'm not trying to diminutize. I'm not trying to diminish anyone who has the wherewithal or the. I'm not trying to make fun of the corporate ethos, any of that. I mean, whether it's good or bad, or you look back, hindsight's always 2020. Uh, One point, there's probably a point in there where you had a good group of fellows like making good research and development type moves, or developing something technologically sophisticated. That they're all, the Dungeons and Dragons club, gets together and they develop the software that revolutionizes this, that, the other thing. It's just being. That's where wisdom. I tend to not. I tend to be vague. I use vagaries all the time, but you know what I'm talking. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. And it's like you got the one day the Beatles, Ooh, I need your love, babe. I guess you know it's true. Yeah, uniformity. What's the next? I think that maybe my favorite. You talk about bucket lists. Like one common one is like I want to get an airplane and go flying around. And be a good pilot. Like good enough that I'm confident I can get somewhere else somewhere safely. That's my ideal. Like, so I can have Erica, I'll fly myself. If I crash, hopefully I crash like, in a body of water, and if I'm gonna die. But point being, okay, so that's like bucket list. That's like a lot of people have that. Yeah, I want to get a aerial craft, a helicopter, or I want to go stuff like that, like really intense, like sports and stuff. Um, or NASCAR. I want to get behind the wheel of a NASCAR, and like even if you don't go over 100 miles an hour, like you're still doing it. And you're like you can feel like Richard Petty, for a day. That's cool. That's cool bucket list thing. Um, but yeah, what's one of mine again is oh yeah, having a band, like being like a series, where I'm at the stage where I'm not not up all night doing heavy drugs or anything like that. A lot of intellectuals tend to do, and I'm functional. I'm not drinking that much. I'm just I put the rum in the cupboard, for a guest, or it's always there for me if I choose to get back on the wagon. You know? But yeah, having a band, that's a bucket list item. Is like just doing a series of shows, like I don't know if that's possible in a tyrannical, like draconian lockdown future or not. I'm laughing now. Am I gonna be laughing tomorrow? Whatever the case, I'm going for a. Maybe I can get away with one smoking here. I think I did it last night. It's not like there hasn't been like a million cigarettes smoked in the house. Not saying that makes it right or wrong. It's pretty disgusting. But I'm just thinking it's more impolite for me to go exit stage right than it is for me to. I got a window open anyway. It won't be too bad. Do I have a lighter though? What do I do? Oh my god! Someone sent me a toothpick. I'm gonna run upstairs and light it off the range. Okay, I'll be back in a minute or less, in case anyone's watching. You know that song, "Tears of a Clown"? Kathy's Clown. So a lot of that's a clown is a recurrent theme in pop culture, I suppose. And the clown, the court jester. That would that would probably be my role. Like I'm not gonna be a jouster, eh? Like the jouster, he's like 6'5", like fucking looks at me like I'm a little kid, like, well, at least I can entertain the king. The king laughs. Oh, good. What's next? Mm. It's a good storyline if you're gonna into fiction and stuff. Hey, it's like historically, you've got the context, like a believable structure, like a aristocracy. And then you've got what really reminds me of this is like an old video game called Ultima 4, particularly. And one of the first things you encounter is this Chuckles the clown. All it is a little dancing sprite on the screen. You know, it's like just a representation, a symbol, an animated symbol. It's like, oh yeah, that's a jester. That's someone juggling. You know, you can kind of let your mind fill in the blanks. So, wow, just thinking back, just brilliant display. I was entirely captivated. And then the game itself. But I'm saying, okay, back to the court jester. Mm. Such an important role. That's called ridicule, right? And that's called memography today. You just make a one single. If you're really good, one single frame. It's like yeah, we did get hoodwinked, didn't we? You know? We did get hoodwinked, didn't we? We did. I'm gonna type that in. We did. I'll just leave it and get hood wonked. I'll type it hood wonked. Any who did we not? Oh, that's mm. I'm feeling all the time detect the future somehow. I can't explain it. Like a bell ringing in my future. Ding 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 ding. Yes. Mm. Ain't complaining. Preponderance. Call it that. Precognition. Preponderance and what's the difference between preponderance and precognition? Here's your final exam. You gotta explain the difference. Mm. I like going to school. Far be it for me to talk about myself, but way back in the day, I used to go to public school. And, started in, my first rank was kindergartner. I was a kindergartner. Uh, yes, we had a French teacher, and she was like German, like just heavy German lady. Yeah. But she seemed heavy. Well, I was just a little sprout, you know. And she was good. Like she play piano? See, there are some like memory gaps because we had a music teacher who was like far more like the interim opposition leader, younger version, and she played piano and lead us on order type feel good songs, and we're all singing along like little kids. Uh, and then yeah, grade one, like recess, brrr, bells rings. It's like everybody's like shuffling out, and I'm like, yeah, no, kids all and, yeah, most of them like they some of them were like, oh, some self-propriety. And then other ones were like, like they all had like tendencies. That's even more tempestuous. Uh, you know, let's move along. You know, like uh, pulled by the ear. You gotta quiz the girls. Yeah, yeah, no, it never. I don't think it ever evolved that far. I think maybe once there was like, how dare I, how dareth I did, you know, early nip it in the bud. It's it's an impropriety, you know. Give me the strap. Fuck, that hurts. Boom. It's like cemented into my psyche now. For better, right? You know, you have, yeah. When you're in a society, you gotta live by the societal expectations to some degree, at least. If you're not gonna land in the who's cow. So on the dinner platter for tonight, I'm gonna wrap this up. This little this little TED talk type. This is my own TED talk. Gonna wrap it up and tell you, look out on the anonymous web board for pictures of food tonight, and I'm gonna research. I'm gonna actually use the internet for research purposes for a change, and I'm gonna look up. Mainly, my only time I do research is like some kind of technical thing or like food related. Probably if you look way back at, like throughout my whole history, when um, search engines, well, I shouldn't say when search engines were novel. I should say when having like internet piped into your personal space became a thing. I like looked up stuff that would probably make my face red, you know, thinking, but uh, you know, look, just go on Amazon and go on Amazon, get yourself some Deepak Chopra. Like you talk about grifting, man. Like this guy's he's like a low key grifter, I think. And somebody says is just his age old tradition. You know, it's like what his grandma taught him, grandpa. You know, I don't want to impose on you know or speculate or anything, but I'm just thinking like things like, you know, granddad told me don't take any wooden nickels, and then like, okay, grandpa, and then later that night I'm like, well, what do you mean by that? Oh, wooden nickel. And then flash forward like 30 years, I'm like, wooden nickel. Oh, where'd that come from? You know, just go to yandex.com or google.com and type in wooden nickel and see what see what pops up there. And wooden nickel, Potemkin village. Where's Potemkin? Oh, it's in somewhere in Moldovia or somewhere out, like out in the fucking somewhere you've never been, probably. In the eastern, you know, it's like it's a 7 day drive to the coast, you know, and then you Potemkin village, and what was the point of that? Like, and then maybe you'll discover something about like the what do they call it, the Silk Road, you know, or the trade routes in the Byzantine Empire. Ooh, wow! Now you're a student of history. You're out here scratching your head every. Oh, well, for me, I'm just a fantasist, and I think like I just imagine like never-ending static electricity, like just pulled in through some kind of ancient grid, you know, with waterways and all these things. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking you watched that thing by Ewar Anon, and yes, I did. And I thought, you know what? However much of it is, it's basically, just that alternative like viewpoint of and I don't want to incriminate myself for being someone who dares watch counter narrative shit, but like for me, right or wrong, it's like what a great presentation. And that's me as the perennial producer. That's what is always on my mind. Can you inspire someone? You know, can you, like, through your words and music, displays, simple slideshow, take them on a journey. You know, let them question the so-called official narrative, and then live their life. Whether be you a like a plumber, stockbroker, or a foot soldier in a big corporate entity. Working retail or front lines, right? Mm. And that's something I would recommend, like everybody, like whether you're rich or poor, you get yourself, like, to really understand it. Like some people, oh, it's beneath me. I'm too hoity-toity. No, even days of yore, I think it's fair to say, these rich households, had sons that went to war and died for what they believed in, and they had daughters that volunteered. They didn't need to work. I had everything on a silver platter, but they went to work anyway. They helped with the incoming casualties and stuff. I think that's you know again, I'm in the vagaries of everything, but present me with an argument. Was it all for naught? Or did it help expand what they call the collective consciousness? Man, are there aliens and stuff like involved? You know what? I'll tell you. I'm just gonna go on record and say I've never seen a something that I thought was other than a human being speaking to me. You know, like there's my dog, like, "Arr!" There's vocalizations, or there's birds who can mimic languages, and that causes me. Can they actually phrase together an original thought after so much time? I'm being summoned again, so I'm gonna end the stream. Be right there.